$8 million beach house in the Hamptons? You're paying $5 million for the zip code alone. You're not just paying for sand and salt water, you're funding an entire ecosystem designed to separate wealthy people from their money as efficiently as possible. We're ranking the 11 most wallet-draining beach towns in America, plus revealing 2 coastal gems that actually deliver value for your dollar. Subscribe now because what you're about to discover will change how you think about beach real estate forever. Spoiler alert, the most expensive isn't always the worst deal. Okay, here are the real vipers of beach town living. Nantucket has perfected the art of artificial scarcity. With just 30 miles of land surrounded by ocean, every square foot commands premium pricing that would make Manhattan developers weep with envy. The median home price approaches $3 million. But here's the kicker. There are currently plenty of homes for sale. In most markets, that would signal a buyer's opportunity. On Nantucket, it just means you have multiple chances to spend millions on a house that would cost a fraction elsewhere. Everything costs more because everything has to be ferried or flown in. A gallon of milk costs nearly $7. A basic lunch for 2 easily exceeds what most families spend on groceries. The Steamship Authority ferry from Hyannis charges per person each way, plus hundreds more for your car during summer months. Random fact, locals call off-islanders wash-ashores, which tells you everything about the welcoming committee. The cobblestone streets and whaling history create undeniable charm. But charm doesn't pay the massive monthly heating bills or the property taxes that exceed most people's annual salaries. One longtime resident told the Nantucket Current, "I bought here decades ago for a reasonable price. Same house is now worth millions. My kids will never be able to afford to live where they grew up." Be honest, when your local coffee shop charges $8 for a basic latte, you're not living somewhere. You're visiting an expensive theme park that happens to have really nice beaches. Martha's Vineyard carries the kind of cultural weight that money can't buy but somehow costs a fortune anyway. This is where the Obamas vacation, where celebrities retreat for privacy, and where regular humans discover that presidential heritage comes with presidential-level price tags. Funny enough, the market is actually cooling. Average prices dropped 18% year over year to $1.5 million in October 2025, with homes taking 79 days to sell instead of the usual feeding frenzy. Buyers are getting 6% under asking price, which in Martha's Vineyard terms counts as a fire sale. The 96-mile island has 6 distinct towns, each more expensive than the last. Edgartown features pristine white houses with black shutters that look like they belong in a Ralph Lauren catalog and cost about as much. Oak Bluffs offers the famous gingerbread cottages that Instagram influencers love to photograph but can't afford to buy. Ferry service from Woods Hole runs year-round, but good luck getting a car reservation during summer without booking months ahead, but even then you are paying $650 for a round-trip car ferry in July, not including passengers. The Vineyard used to be where middle-class families could afford summer cottages, explains one longtime resident. Now it's where middle-class families work 3 jobs to afford winter rentals. The seasonal economy means most businesses operate 4 months a year, creating service limitations that make simple errands feel like military operations. The Hamptons aren't one place. They're a collection of Long Island towns that have collectively decided regular people aren't welcome. Southampton, East Hampton, Bridgehampton, and West Hampton each offer their own flavor of exclusivity, but they all share one thing: prices that make you question capitalism. September 2025, data shows a median home price of $1.4 million, up 18% year over year. Properties sit on market for over 60 days, which in Hamptons terms counts as a slow market. Per square foot pricing averages $790 before you factor in the social pressure to renovate, landscape, and maintain properties that serve as summer status symbols. The summer rental market is where things get truly absurd. A modest 3-bedroom in Southampton rents in the tens of thousands per month during peak season. Beachfront estates command $100,000 plus for July and August because apparently some people have so much money they've forgotten what money is for. Traffic on Route 27 during summer weekends resembles a very expensive parking lot. The drive from Manhattan that should take 90 minutes regularly stretches to 4 hours, creating a unique form of torture where you pay premium prices to sit in traffic with other people who also paid to sit in traffic. Local businesses have adapted to the seasonal economy by charging prices that would make Disney World blush. A basic lunch at a Hamptons restaurant runs $40 to $50 per person, and that's before drinks, tax, and tip that's automatically added. Laguna Beach has successfully monetized the starving artist aesthetic for people wealthy enough to cosplay as bohemians. The average home costs $3 million and buys you into a community where authentic artist lifestyle costs more than most people's lifetime earnings. The town clings to cliff tops along Orange County's coast, featuring art galleries, boutique shops, and restaurants that serve avocado toast at prices that would make Manhattan blush. Per square foot pricing makes it more expensive than most global financial capitals, which is impressive for a place that markets itself as a laid-back artist colony. Summer brings the pageant of the masters, where locals recreate famous paintings with live models. It's genuinely cool, but tickets aren't cheap and parking costs extra. The Festival of Arts runs concurrently, featuring local artists whose work you can't afford because they can't afford to live here either. The top 25% of homes average $18 million for 4-bedroom layouts, while even the bottom quartile hits $2.8 million. Vacation rentals average $12,000 monthly, proving that temporary bohemian living costs more than most people's permanent housing. "I've been painting here for 30 years, one local artist told the Orange County Register. "Used to rent a studio for $400 a month. Same space is now $3,200, and they want first, last, and a security deposit equal to my annual art sales. The beaches are spectacular, the art scene is legitimate, and the sunsets are free. Everything else will cost you approximately 1 kidney and your children's college fund." Carmel-by-the-Sea looks like Disney designed a retirement community for people who think regular retirement communities aren't whimsical enough. The storybook, cottages, and fairy tale architecture justify $3 million home price because apparently, living in a children's book costs adult money. This Monterey Peninsula village has no street addresses. Mail gets delivered to business names and intersections. Houses have names like Comstock's Folly and Sea Urchin Cottage, which sounds charming until you realize the cottage costs $3.2 million, and the Folly is thinking you can afford it. The town measures just 1 square mile, with a population that hovers around 3,800. Former Mayor Clint Eastwood helped establish the village's anti-development stance, which keeps things quaint and prices astronomical. Housing costs run 650% higher than the national average. Financial advisors recommend annual household incomes of $370,000 minimum to comfortably afford living here. That's not a typo. You need to earn more than most doctors to buy a cottage that looks like it belongs in a Brothers Grimm story. The downtown area features art galleries where paintings cost more than cars, restaurants where dinner for 2 approaches, $200 not including the wine list, and boutique shops sell $150 candles. Ocean Avenue leads directly to a white sand beach that's genuinely beautiful. Maybe it's best to just visit on a day trip. Pebble Beach has turned golf into a lifestyle tax that never stops charging fees. The median home price of $2.9 million includes mandatory participation in a golf-obsessed community where everything revolves around a sport most residents play poorly. The famous Pebble Beach golf links charges $600 plus for a single round, not including the caddy tip, cart rental, and therapy you'll need after shooting 120. Properties range from $1 to $58 million, reflecting the extreme range of people willing to pay premium prices for the privilege of paying more premium prices. The 17-mile drive winds through the community, offering stunning coastal views with admission fees for non-residents. Yes, you pay to drive on roads that lead to businesses that want your money. It's like a toll booth for capitalism. Property taxes, HOA fees, and golf-related expenses add thousands to monthly ownership costs. The Pebble Beach Company controls most commercial activity, creating a monopoly that would make Disney jealous. Want to renovate your house? Better hope the Architectural Review Board approves your plans, your contractor, and probably your choice of doorknobs. Living here is like being in a beautiful prison, where the guards wear polo shirts, joked one resident. Everything is perfect, expensive, and requires committee approval. Hit subscribe because the next 5 towns prove that American coastal living has become a luxury product designed to exclude everyone except trust fund babies and tech moguls. Kiawah Island has perfected the art of hidden costs that multiply faster than rabbits in springtime. You think you're buying a beach house, but you're actually enrolling in a very expensive subscription service that never stops billing you. This South Carolina barrier island operates like a luxury resort that forgot to mention you have to buy the room before you can pay for everything else. Golf club initiation fees start at 6 figures and climb from there, because apparently owning a multi-million-dollar house doesn't automatically grant you the right to play golf badly on manicured courses. The Ocean House Golf Club requires a $250,000 initiation fee plus annual dues that exceed most people's salaries. Translation: you pay more to join the golf club than most Americans will earn in 5 years. And that's before you hit a single ball into the water hazards. But wait, there's more. Home sites alone cost over $1 million before you build anything, and construction requires approval from architectural committees that meet monthly to debate the cultural significance of your shutters. One resident joked, "I spent more on committee meetings than I did on my first house." Hurricane shutters, flood insurance, and the constant battle against salt air create maintenance costs that would make a yacht owner wince. You're not buying coastal living. You're buying into a financial ecosystem where every amenity comes with a subscription fee and every convenience requires committee approval. The beaches are spectacular, the golf is world-class, and the exclusivity is genuine. Just remember that exclusivity is another word for expensive, and expensive is another word for ongoing. Del Mar represents the ultimate real estate timing lesson. If you didn't buy here 15 years ago, you're basically paying for someone else's retirement fund. Home prices have tripled since 2010, creating a market where today's buyers fund yesterday's winners. This San Diego County coastal enclave perches on bluffs overlooking the Pacific, home to the Del Mar racetrack where the turf meets the surf, and your financial future meets its maker. The town attracts wealthy retirees who think spending millions on a beach house is reasonable, apparently unaware that the same money buys oceanfront estates in dozens of other markets. Property taxes alone exceed most Americans' entire salaries, while insurance, maintenance, and utilities add thousands more monthly just to own a house you've already overpaid for. It's like buying a very expensive car that costs more to park than most people spend on transportation. Climate change adds another layer of financial risk. USC researchers predict coastal living costs will skyrocket as beaches require constant maintenance and sea levels rise. Current buyers aren't just overpaying, they're buying into a climate liability that compounds annually. The beaches are beautiful, the weather is perfect, and the horse racing is entertaining. But unless you're comfortable funding other people's real estate gains while betting against climate change, Del Mar feels more like a very expensive casino where the house always wins. Newport Beach has positioned itself as the Hamptons of California, which sounds impressive until you realize you're paying Hamptons prices for Orange County culture. It's like buying a Rolls-Royce and getting a BMW with really good marketing. Balboa Island properties start in the multi-millions for what most people would consider elaborate beach shacks. The island measures just 3 miles long and features houses packed so tightly together you can hear your neighbor's Netflix choices. But hey, at least you're overpaying for density with ocean access. The yacht clubs require membership fees that cost more than most people's houses, while Fashion Island shopping provides retail therapy for people who think lunch should cost more than car payments. Newport Harbor features more boats worth more than houses than anywhere outside Monaco. The lifestyle is amazing if you can afford it, explains one local real estate agent. Problem is, even people who can afford it are starting to question whether they should. We're seeing buyers who qualify for multi-million-dollar loans asking if maybe they should just rent instead. The dining scene offers everything from casual to upscale, assuming your definition of casual includes fish tacos that cost more than most people's grocery budgets and cocktails priced like fine wine. Corona Del Mar features cliffside estates where the property taxes alone exceed median household incomes, while Lido Isle offers waterfront living for people who want to pay premium prices to live on a man-made island that floods during high tides. Malibu has successfully monetized celebrity proximity into the most expensive coastal real estate in America, where A-list actors buy third homes that cost more than most people's entire net worth. Paradise Cove earned the nickname Billionaire's Bluff after a string of record-breaking sales that made international headlines. Beyoncé and Jay-Z's purchase set California records, making Manhattan penthouses look like affordable housing. Mark Andreessen bought multiple properties because apparently venture capitalists need backup beach houses in case the first few get sandy. Beachfront vacation rentals cost dramatically more per night than non-beachfront properties. You're paying premium prices just for the privilege of looking at water. Translation? Ocean views cost more than most people's monthly rent, and that's before you factor in parking fees and cocktails that cost more than dinner elsewhere. The Pacific Coast Highway winds through miles of coastline, where every restaurant, gas station, and coffee shop charges prices that would make airport vendors blush. A basic lunch for two easily exceeds what most families spend on groceries, while dinner at Nobu Malibu requires reservations, connections, and a credit limit that exceeds most people's annual salaries. Fire risk adds another layer of financial complexity. Insurance costs that would bankrupt small businesses, evacuation plans requiring helicopter access, and rebuilding expenses that make the original purchase price look reasonable. The Woolsey Fire destroyed hundreds of homes, creating a natural disaster lottery where the house always loses. Montecito represents the ultimate intersection of celebrity worship and real estate insanity, where you're literally paying millions extra for the privilege of living near people who pretend to be other people for a living. Oprah's promised land, spans 70 acres with a mansion that has a larger carbon footprint than most small cities. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle lecture the world about inequality from their Mediterranean estate with more bathrooms than most apartment buildings have rooms. The legendary zip code attracts tech billionaires, Hollywood executives, and celebrities who think privacy requires spending more on a house than most countries' annual budgets. Everything costs double what it should anywhere else, and houses cost 7 times what they should cost anywhere with basic math skills. Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi flip multi-million-dollar estates like normal people flip pancakes, working with GDP of small nations' money in a market so detached from reality that even billionaires are getting priced out. Recent sales have shattered records that were already incomprehensible to regular humans. Property taxes alone cost more than most people's entire salaries, while maintaining these estates requires staff budgets that exceed small business revenues. The community takes exclusivity so seriously that even the grocery stores feel like private clubs where membership requires net worth statements. "We moved here from Beverly Hills because we wanted more privacy," explained one resident. "Turns out privacy costs millions more than we thought, and that's before you factor in the staff, security, and landscaping that's apparently mandatory for fitting in." The beaches are beautiful, the weather is perfect, and the celebrity sightings are guaranteed. Just remember that celebrity proximity is the world's most expensive amenity. Now let's see the 2 beach towns actually worth it. Hilton Head Island delivers everything expensive beach towns promise without requiring you to sell organs on the black market. You're getting resort amenities, championship golf, and gated community prestige for a fraction of what California charges for celebrity proximity. This South Carolina barrier island offers 5 championship golf courses, resort-style amenities, and established communities like Sea Pines, Palmetto Dunes, and Wexford that provide actual choice rather than expensive versus impossibly expensive. HOA fees exist, but you get infrastructure, amenities, and services that justify the costs instead of just paying for the privilege of following arbitrary rules. The market shows stability rather than speculative mania. You're buying into a community that's already built, established, and functioning rather than paying premium prices for potential that may never materialize. 12 miles of beaches, bike paths, tennis facilities, and dining options create year-round livability that beats seasonal resort towns. The weather stays pleasant enough for outdoor activities most of the year, while hurricane risk remains manageable with proper insurance and preparation. We looked at similar communities in Florida, North Carolina, and California, explained one recent buyer. Hilton Head offered the best combination of amenities, community, and value. We're getting a lifestyle that would cost triple in California. The beaches are genuine, the golf is world-class, and the community feels authentic rather than manufactured. Most importantly, you can actually afford to enjoy it instead of spending all your time working to pay for it. The Outer Banks represents everything expensive beach towns promise at prices that actually make sense. This stretch of barrier islands offers oceanfront living, resort amenities, and investment potential without requiring trust fund support or generational wealth. Home prices vary dramatically depending on location and proximity to water, but even oceanfront properties cost less than comparable Northeast markets while delivering superior beach access and year-round livability. Duck, Corolla, and Nag's Head provide different price points and community feels, creating actual choice for buyers with different budgets and priorities. The rental market generates legitimate income for property owners. Oceanfront homes command premium weekly rates during peak season, while Soundside properties offer solid returns at lower price points. You can actually afford to own investment property that pays for itself rather than hemorrhaging money annually. Wright Brothers National Memorial, Cape Hatteras National Seashore, and Roanoke Island offer historical significance and natural beauty that money can't manufacture. The fishing, surfing, and water sports rival anywhere in the country, while the lack of pretension makes it feel like an actual community rather than a resort playground. Hurricane risk exists, but remains manageable with proper insurance and construction standards. The seasonal economy creates some limitations, but year-round residents and growing remote work opportunities are changing that dynamic. American beach towns have split into two categories: luxury products designed to exclude regular humans, and actual communities where coastal living remains possible. What matters more to you, saying you live where famous people vacation, or actually enjoying coastal living without financial stress? Drop a comment and please subscribe. See you next time.